After about 40 minutes of frantic digging, this. The newborn puppy free at last.
All right, they do not exactly tell you this in TV school, but if you can lead with a puppy rescue, lead with the puppy rescue. And this puppy rescue even leads to politics, which we love. Because this puppy, who is fine now, really, I swear, leads to Texas Governor Rick Perry. The Republican governor joined the presidential race last month after saying he felt called to run by a higher power. Mr. Perry has also issued his own calls to a higher power. In April, the governor called the people of the Lone Star State to spend 3 days praying for the, quote, healing of our land, for rain to end the record drought that has plagued Texas month after month, and that created the backyard crack that swallowed up that poor puppy. Governor Perry has also called the whole nation to prayer, this time for the healing of our country, for fixes to problems like our economy. That call for prayer was centered on this marquee event in a Houston stadium, headlined by Rick Perry and endorsed by a list of really very conservative Christian luminaries. Like this person, who might now be getting famous for what she described as the effect on birds in Arkansas of repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Watch.
The blackbirds fell to the ground in Beebe, Arkansas. Well, the governor of Arkansas's name is Beebe. And also, there was something put out of Arkansas called Don't Ask, Don't Tell by a former governor. This was proposed Bill Clinton. And so, could there be a connection between this passage we're set and now that we had the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell? It could be because we have said it's okay for people who commit these kind of acts to be recognized. You know, in our military, for the first time in our history, there is a potential that there is something that actually happened in the land where 100,000 drumfish died, and also where these birds just fell out of the air.
That is Cindy Jacobs, a self-described prophet and faith healer. She also exorcises gay demons, and she interprets the impact of political decisions, as you saw there, on the natural world. According to Cindy Jacobs, who again was a prominently featured endorser of Rick Perry's stadium prayer event this year, according to Cindy Jacobs, Rick Perry's stadium prayer event worked. We don't yet know about the whole nation, but Texas, at least, she assures us, was in fact healed by Rick Perry's stadium day of prayer.
We found some areas that are very, very violent because the former culture was a murderous, violent area, like in Texas here, and all the coast around Houston and Galveston and some of that area, the Native American people were cannibals, you know, and they ate people. And so you could see a manifestation of that in the churches where people turned against people and kind of cannibalized other people's ministries. And so there's been a lot of prayer over that in Houston, Texas. They've done a lot of intercession over that and broke the curses on the land. And we just had a prayer meeting in Houston a little week ago. The governor of Texas, and you know, really as an individual, instigated this. 35,000 people showed up to pray, and there was only a prayer meeting called within 3 months, you know, 3 months period of time. So what happened? The land is starting to rejoice, you see, because of that prayer.
The land in Texas starting to rejoice because of Rick Perry's stadium prayer event in Houston. With all due respect, since Rick Perry's stadium prayer event in Houston, Texas has been quite literally on fire. Nearly 4 weeks after the prayer meeting, Governor Rick Perry re-upped his wildfire disaster proclamation for the 9th time for every county in Texas. Hundreds of homes were lost just in September. The worst of it seems to be over now, but there were 65 new wildfires in the last week alone in Texas. And Texas has not only been burning, it is still locked in its terrible historic drought. And to make it all worse, we have since had it confirmed that Texas this year endured the hottest summer ever recorded in the United States. Texas has been so hot and so parched that they have taken to rescuing Texas's fish. Wildlife biologists last week evacuated fish from the Brazos River, wading out into the salty muck with nets and scooping up small-eye shiners and sharp-nosed shiners so they could take them to safety at the state hatchery because there's not enough water in the river to keep them alive anymore. And as you know, Texas has been so hot and dry that this little puppy fell into a hole in the yard where the ground had cracked open. It took the animal rescue squad 40 minutes to dig the little guy out. And then he went back to his mama with a bunch of little puppy squeals that I, for one, cannot bear to play a second time. Okay, maybe in a minute. And frankly, while we are on the subject, on Tuesday, tens of thousands of bees swarmed a University of Texas golf tournament. They had to cancel the final round, which meant a team from Kansas won. Now, Texas is a great state with many reasons to rejoice. Among them, that people there will stop to dig a puppy out of the ground. But if Cindy Jacobs really thinks that Governor Perry's prayer event has led to the land in Texas rejoicing by chasing off the cannibal spirits, I protest, along with the puppy in the drought crack, who is fine, adorable, tiny, and thirsty, but fine.